Welcome to this new video where we're going to talk a little bit about the game Carrick Street. Since this morning, June 18th, 2025, the game has been available on Xbox console. In this video, I'll explain the concept of the game for those unfamiliar with it. I'm also, of course, going to talk to you about the new features that are coming along with the Xbox version of the game. The game is currently not available on PlayStation 5. It might seem strange, but actually, the game's developers chose to release it on Xbox first, and later on PlayStation 5. It's not very cool for PlayStation 5 players. But let's just say that, unfortunately, we've gotten a bit used to delayed releases for this game. The game was first released on mobile around 1.5 to 2 years ago, or possibly even earlier. Then on PC after a year, and now on Xbox a year after the PC versions. So it's a bit strange, but that's how it is. However, the developers have confirmed that the game will be released on PlayStation 5. It's just that, for now, there isn't a final release date yet. So now, I'm going to give you a brief introduction to Carrick Street. And then, afterwards, we'll talk about the new features coming to the game. With the arrival of the Xbox versions, we're looking at a racing game. It's an open-world game with a sizable open environment. It's not really inspired by a real place, but it merges a lot of neighborhoods. Let's say places inspired by real locations. For example, on the map's west side, there's a large Japan-inspired area, with tiny Japanese-style decorations and ultra-winding roads for drifting. We have a whole center here with a big city that's a bit American-style, let's put it that way. And here we have an area that was added for free in an update. An area reminiscent of the Nürburgring, a circuit in the German forest. It's incredibly cool. So, we have an open world, and above all, we have a game that's pretty complete in terms of activities. Now, I'm going to tell you a bit about the different activities you'll be able to do in the game. Right now, I'm actually doing one. We're delivering cars at the moment. So, this is one of the ways to make money in the game. The game features missions to complete and races. In this instance, I was starting a one-on-one duel. But know that in some races, you'll face many more artificial intelligence opponents. Simultaneously, there are time trials and drift challenges. By the way, you should know that this game is made by CarX Technologies, and it's the same studio that usually makes the CarX Drift games. So, indeed, if you're used to drifting in CarX Drift, you shouldn't feel lost with the physics in this game, since the drift physics are actually quite similar to those. The developers, wanting to offer something a bit more versatile, included it in the base game. A physics system that's actually more enjoyable for grip driving than on CarX Drift. Grip driving is a viable option in this game, offering more versatility than other driving styles. It should be clarified up front that this is a highly arcade-style game, designed to be played with a controller. So, of course, you can play it with a steering wheel, but it's still a game that's designed to be played by as many people as possible, quote-unquote. We're not dealing with an ultra-realistic simulation. But anyway, if you're used to playing The Crew, Forza, or other games like that, well, you're already used to playing arcade games, let's put it that way. Every activity in the game helps you progress in your club. For instance, I recently joined the racing club. Maybe in one-on-one, actually. Maybe they're duels. Once I reach the end, I'll have a final boss. And once I beat him, I'll get a big credit reward. And some special customization parts, too. That's how all the activities in the game work. So, there are clubs specialized in drifting, others in sprints, and others in different types of events. There's a bit of everything, and there's still plenty of variety. Quite a lot of content, quite a lot of hours of gameplay to enjoy. There are many events to complete. So now, I'm going to show you a bit of drifting gameplay, just so you know the drift I'm about to show you. These are the temporary events, because actually, in the game, there's a rival system with temporary events. So here, for example, for this one, I have 1 hour and 15 minutes to participate. Actually, it's a challenge where my score will be compared to the scores of other players on that event. After 1 hour and 15 minutes, I receive rewards based on my ranking, compared to others. In this case, I am in the top 100. We have a lot of money. We just got 175,000 at once, and 175,000 in this game is a lot. These challenges are sometimes available in time trial mode. That means sometimes they'll lend you a car and ask you to set the best possible time with that car, and the time you set with the car, scores will be compared to other players. That's what it ultimately comes down to. Imagine an asymmetrical multiplayer mode similar to the rival mode in Forza Horizon. Except here, there's also a little temporary competitive aspect, which is actually pretty nice. So, obviously, the game is available in single player, but it's also available in multiplayer. So, you can join up with your friends, race together, or just enjoy the open world and explore the map while driving around with your buddies. This game has a unique feature that no other game offers, which is pretty cool. That in CarX Street, there's a pink slip system. That means you can bet your car's registration papers. And if you win your opponent's car. If you lose your car. As far as I know, it's the only game that has this rule. So, we're going to change cars, and actually, we're going to talk a little bit about the cars in this game, since there are actually some new features that have been added with the latest update. I'll show you the car list while giving you a brief overview, for those unfamiliar with the game. So, we're playing a game that features copies of real cars, but the cars are not licensed. For example, I have a copy of a Ford Mustang here, but it won't have the Mustang or Ford logos. So they're the same cars, just without any logos. And what's pretty cool is that, as a result, it gives developers a lot of freedom when it comes to choosing which models to add to the game. The game features a diverse vehicle selection, including rare cars like vintage Mercos, which sets it apart from other games. What else do we have that's a bit special? There's a wide variety of wagons available, including Subaru and BMW models, encompassing various styles from different countries and nationalities. Obviously, they're customizable, and I'll show you that, by the way. There are both small, totally RP cars, totally basic ones, and also really big, ultra-sporty cars. So, that's actually a new feature from the update. Version 1.7 is expected to release alongside the Xbox versions. That car is likely an Infiniti. The Nissan R33, a new edition, is very nice and really underrated. The R33 is often overlooked in favor of the R32 and R34 despite being a really cool model as well. And the RX-8, which is also a new addition. So these are the 3 new cars from the update. There are regularly new cars added to the game, and obviously, the cars are customizable and upgradable. So everything you do to your car will affect its weight or performance, and that could potentially make it change categories. So here, I'm showing you a little bit of what's available on this car I have here, the E60. So that you can get an idea for yourself about the level of car customization and upgrades. It's pretty advanced. You can really change almost every part, and each part will have different levels of upgrades. My exhaust options can include stock, street, sport, racing, or others. In the back, almost every part can be adjusted to influence the handling of the vehicle. You can upgrade the transmission and everything else, including the bodywork which affects the car's aerodynamics. It has adjustable downforce, affecting speed and handling. Same for the suspension and same for the wheels. So those are the upgrades. Then, of course, there are the customizations. We'll switch cars now to give you a brief demonstration. Other driving styles and all that. But here, for example, on the Supra, do we have customization? I have to admit, I've never checked. What I know is that they've added things, for example, with the latest update of the new livery categories, since there's also a livery editor that lets you make your own liveries. So, it's a bit similar to what we have in Forza. With the different shapes, you can add lots of layers, change the colors, textures, shapes, and the angle. You can do some advanced things that I don't do because I lack the patience. But I have to admit it, I find the vinyl editor in this game more pleasant and easier to use than the one in Forza, especially because the areas are not restricted. So you can really move the stickers anywhere on the bodywork without having to choose which part of the car will be affected by the sticker. And I find that extremely convenient. You can add neon lights with custom colors behind them. Brightness and other settings will be adjustable. It's actually pretty cool. The cart isn't empty, so it's fine. What am I doing here? We're going to empty the cart. There we go, just like that. I won't spend my money. We have the paints, and of course, we also have the body kits. So here, these are complete kits. Then we'll have custom parts. The game may have downloadable content available, but it should be a complete experience even without purchasing additional content. This car, for instance, has many features, which is just one example among numerous cars. The car already has several parts, including front and rear bumpers, side skirts, a spoiler, and an exhaust pipe. The rims too, of course. Knowing that they actually added new rims, they added the turbofan rims, so those big disc rims like that. Maybe there were turbofans before in the game. The update added more features. Many parts are still being checked. Just for the rims alone, there are 300 rim models, maybe even more than that. The game offers extensive customization options, allowing players to create distinctive builds. This update also includes a new camera. That's true. The one slightly weird thing about the game right now is the camera. I'm having a bit of trouble with it. I have to admit, I prefer cameras that are fixed to the back of the car rather than the front. Here, it's a camera that looks a bit like the drift camera from the Crew Motorfest, for example. But anyway, there are different types of cameras. They've added a slightly higher camera. They obviously have. So, that's been there since the game was released. Add the interior view. Interior views are available for all cars, featuring appealing animations. With it, I think. I don't want to say anything wrong, but I believe you should be able to turn. So here, it's acting up a bit, but you should be able to turn the steering wheel. So in 1080 for the flying players, do you have full animations? For some time now, they've added a cinematic camera, similar to Grand Theft Auto where the camera changes perspectives, depending on what you're doing with your car. Personally, I never use that because, you see, it messes things up really quickly. Actually, you can't really see where you're going. But they added that. There you go. And above all, they added, well, I did it earlier by accident. They added what they call prototype hunting. Actually, it's the ability to find cars. It's kind of like the Rex. On Test Drive, for example, or on which other game has that, on Need for Speed 2. To some extent, there are cars that are hidden on the map. And you'll have to find them little by little, simply by searching, by wandering around like that in the open world. Earlier, I found one by accident. When I teleported to the first event I showed you, there was a car that was under a red sheet. And instead of starting the event by pressing the right button, I clicked the button to collect the car. To see what it looks like, just go back. We won't be farming that in this video, as it would make the video too long. And finally, to wrap up with the cool features of the game, this game has a bit of an RP aspect for tire management and fuel management. Here, if you look at the heads-up display on the left side of the screen, I have my fuel gauge, and clearly, you can run out of gas. It already happened to me, actually. It happened just a few minutes ago when I was recording the intro for this video. I ran out of gas with my Huracan. So, you can run out of gas and you can obviously go refuel. Let me try to show you that. You can choose between several types of gas, including the cheaper standard gas, which is pretty cool. And if you really want to boost your car's performance, you also have that option. At the gas station. Normally there's a sport-grade gasoline. That's what costs a lot more, but it will give you better performance. Refill your nitro and change your tire type here. The tire type significantly impacts car handling. Street mode is for drifting, while sport mode offers a more balanced experience. If you're looking for something that grips, really, to do time trials, you should go for Racing or Racing Plus instead. The tires wear will also be calculated. Here, you can see at the bottom of the screen, my tires are at 62% quality. The more they wear out, the less effective they become. So, we still have a pretty complete game. When the excerpt was released, I was quite disappointed because the game's release took a long time. The game's release was delayed for about 3 years, making it challenging to maintain player excitement during that time. With screenshots and posts on Steam to announce the things that are being developed for the game. And it's true that when it was released, the physics weren't very good, the game's optimization wasn't great, and there wasn't really much to do. But I have to say that in a year, they really improved the game a lot. With the physics that have been reworked, with lots of new cars, with lots of new activities, and also with new free map sections. The game offers a lot of content. Ultimately, enjoyment depends on your preference for the physics and slightly arcade-style gameplay. But honestly, if you like that, I think Carrick Street is still one of the most complete games available on the market right now. And on top of that, the good news is that this game doesn't cost much. Now, I don't know how much it will cost. On Xbox, maybe it will be a little more expensive, but on PC, the game is €17.99. What's also pretty important is that this game offers a modding system, so you can literally add modded cars and make your own rides. That's actually pretty cool. So, from what I understand, with the game coming to Xbox, the save system is going to change in the game, which means that the old mods won't be compatible anymore, I think. Well, if they are compatible, they still need to be recompiled to work with the new save system in the game. It's cool when a game is moddable and has at least a somewhat active community. Overall, the game offers plenty of activities. That's all for now. See you tomorrow for another video, as usual. And then, well, enjoy the game and good luck. Actually, good luck with the giveaway.